How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 3, Episode 12, and this one's entitled Miss May Dusa. This is from January 18th, 1987, so this is the first one back from Christmas break. Darkside did an end of November, then a pause, then they put out Seasons of Belief, actually I think a little after Christmas for some reason, but if you're wondering why we're not covering that one, that's because I covered that one a long time ago, as sort of a, around the Christmas season, so that one is up, but you'll have to deal with older Zach if you watch it. But anyway, Darkside's back for the second half of the season in 1987 now. This one is written and directed by Richard Blackburn and stars Sofia, Landon, and Gary Majchrazak. And this one is one that I saw the title of, and I kind of wondered about, May Dusa. I think we can get the sort of pun they're going for, but I was a little worried that it'd be one of those Darkside comedy episodes that doesn't hold up super well, and I was a little anxious going into it. But this isn't a comedy episode. It is kind of experimental and a little bit art house and a little bit moody. However, I do wish more happened in it. It's one of those things that I don't think it's as deep as it thinks it is, and I do wish there was just a little bit more to this. But that being said, we're dealing with a simple episode, and I guess let's go ahead and dive into the plot. I don't normally do this so early, but I think the plot is kind of thin on this one, so let's just go ahead and knock it out of the way. I won't be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic idea as to what this episode's about. We open up with a shop late at night and a burglar breaking into the shop. He bumps into a mannequin and knocks the mannequin's sunglasses off, and then accidentally looks into the mannequin's eyes, and then he turns into a mannequin and she becomes real. Overall, this is a really great hook, and I was hoping it would be more of a mannequin horror episode, and that whole idea, don't stare into the mannequin's eyes, something bad will happen. I mean, that's like a really great rumor that you could see spreading around and kids daring themselves to do it. Overall, the hook was so good, I wish the whole episode was like that. But it's not. After that, she gets a new pair of sunglasses and leaves into the night. Turns out it's about 3 a.m. in New York City, and she wanders into the subway. And there's only one other person there, and that is this saxophone player playing some jazz. He also has on dark clothes and sunglasses, and now we see what I mean about a good mood in this episode. It's New York City, it's 3 a.m., we're wearing our sunglasses on the subway station and playing some jazz. Yeah, this thing does have a ton of atmosphere, if nothing else. But the two begin to talk, and she doesn't know who she is. She says she has a terrible case of amnesia, and the thing is, she has vague memories of waking up in different places. Attics, inside a trash bag, she says at one point. So she's been going through this cycle somehow, whatever her curse is, for a long, long time. But because she has amnesia, we don't exactly know how long, or what the stipulations for the curse is, or what exactly is going on here. Amnesia keeps things vague, but she says that she's killed people, that she doesn't want to, but it's part of her curse, and she blames herself for their death. And the jazz player doesn't run away when she said she killed people, but is still talking to her. And they begin to try to puzzle out who she is, as well as musings about life and jazz and, talking about things in the city, So it is kind of a light conversation episode with an edge to it of that mystery and who might this person be. But eventually they hit a nail where they say, "What's your name?" And she says, "I don't know." But she has enough vague memories that they begin to kind of sound it out, going through the sounds, buh, cuh, and which ones hit. And she eventually goes, "Dusa, that's my last name." And her first name is May. I mean, it's the title of the episode. We knew it was coming. But yeah, May Dusa. And what does that sound like? And what implications does that have, especially considering the beginning of the episode? So they start to puzzle that out as well. So as far as specifics, this is, like I said, a conversation-heavy episode. They're talking about life, and it's pretty much just the two of them. It's not 100% complete bottle episode because we do have the store with the thief and a little bit of the alley set, but this is almost entirely one set with two characters. Darkside loves their limited characters and sets, and in this one you don't feel trapped, and I think that is an important thing to avoid when doing a bottle episode. However, you do notice it, and if you can pull off a bottle episode without people noticing you're pulling off a bottle, that's what you really should go for. But you do notice, oh, we're stuck here, it's gonna be primarily a conversation, and actually it kind of feels like this weird sandwich, because a bunch happens in the beginning with that hook section, and then most of it is a long conversation, and then we get to the end piece where it gets back to classic anthology horror, and I won't spoil it, but a pretty dark ending kind of just gets you like, oh wow, that it got dark really quick. But anyway, during the middle, not much happens. Now, that being said, Darkside is only 22-ish minutes long, and if you're talking to someone, you can talk to someone about amnesia, and you can muse with someone on life and jazz. It's no problem in real life to have a conversation 22 minutes long about these three topics. But when you do a TV show, you kind of expect a little more to happen. So it wasn't boring, but it was just a little underwhelming. It's written enough, they feel good enough, but I wish that there was more to unpack. And I think in part, they do get a little bit of that mystery. They do puzzle out a little bit who she was, but I really wish there were bigger boulders to turn over and find out more in this mystery, learn specifics of the curse, learn more of her lore. I really wish that they could dig deeper with this. And also, we learn about the characters, but we don't really see them change too much. I mean, they get to a bit of a point at the end, but it didn't feel like a super big journey. But that being said, that might be a little bit too much to ask for 22 minutes. I wish the mystery and the characters were a little deeper. You can tell that this is kind of an artsy approach, and they probably think they're being super deep, and it is a little bit, but I do wish it went down farther, because this is almost a whole episode of Darkside that's just a conversation. I really wish they would push that. And the thing is, though, I can totally see some people really loving this episode. I mean, especially just that 3 a.m. New York City wearing sunglasses in the subway. I mean, that's a mood, and they do the atmosphere and the mood right. So I think some people might really like this one. And it is important to note that this is, this is kind of an art house episode of Darkside. This is a little different. This is a little experimental. And I do have to applaud experimenting, even if it doesn't always work. Because, if you're only chasing sure successes, you're never going to change or evolve or do more. And there is a lot of art house media this way. I mean, these days. Wasn't there that one, It was the guy that played Venom, Tom Hardy, and he was just in a car on his cell phone the whole movie. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. So it didn't 100% work. It wasn't terrible. It had the right mood. It was interesting enough. I just wish it was a little deeper or a little bit more happened. But I could totally see some people absolutely loving this episode, and I can totally see some people absolutely hating it. Me, I thought it had an interesting concept, a good idea, and I do like that it did try to do something new, although I don't think it 100% landed. So E for effort, and it was okay. I just wish it was a little bit more and a little bit better, but hey, we did something different. Cool enough, right? So it's not an episode that I'm gonna be super excited to go back and rewatch anytime soon, but if, you know, I was doing a marathon or something and this came on, I wouldn't be disappointed, and it is one that I'll probably think about from time to time, just that reinvention of a concept and trying to shoot this a little differently. I will think about it, but it's not gonna be my favorite or anything, so this one, somewhere in the middle for me. Kind of interesting, you know? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist, where you should be able to see my review of all the past episodes, including Seasons of Belief, the one from last time on the season. I also have a Season 1 and 2 overview, and a review of the Joe Hill comics, and I did do the Yattering and Jack one early as well. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Darkside playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.